This is Jeremy Tessmer with SGTV. 15 years ago, gallery owner Frank Goss made the fateful decision to get involved with the plein air oil paintings of Lockwood de Forest. At that time, the name Lockwood de Forest had disappeared from the memories of all but a few of the most dedicated collectors and historians. He was a national academician, but his contributions to Indian wood carving, Orientalist interior design, and landscape painting were largely forgotten. Frank wasn't bothered at all. He saw something in de Forest's work that inspired him to buy as many of de Forest's paintings as he could afford, and the family was happy to sell. Lockwood de Forest was born to one of the founding families of New Amsterdam, the early Dutch colony that is today known as New York City. Between 1625 and de Forest's birth in 1850, the family had grown wealthy and prestigious. Like many young society men, young Lockwood's education was rich with travel abroad. In 1869, he began to study painting with Orientalist painter Hermann Corradi in Rome. From Rome, he traveled to Athens, where he met up with a distant family relation, the famous landscape painter Frederick Church. Church was in Athens to sketch the Acropolis and took de Forest under his wing. 3 years later, de Forest was sufficiently committed to painting to rent studio space in the celebrated 10th Street studio building in New York. Over the next 11 years, he worked around such artists as Winslow Homer, Albert Bierstadt, Frederick Church, and William Merritt Chase. He also traveled extensively in Greece, Egypt, and Palestine, where he collected and sketched. In 1879, he formed an interior design business with Louis Comfort Tiffany, Candace Wheeler, and Samuel Coleman called Associated Artists. Their clients were the luminaries of the period: Cornelius Vanderbilt, Andrew Carnegie, Mark Twain, and even President Chester Arthur. 1 year later, he married Miss Meta Kemble of the DuPont family and left for an extended honeymoon in India. It changed his life. He became devoted to Indian culture and set up a woodcarving factory in Ahmedabad to furnish the clients of Associated Artists with exotic furniture and architectural details. De Forest grew famous and well off from his efforts to bring the Indian arts to his American and British audiences, but he never abandoned his painting. In about 1900, the artist began wintering in Santa Barbara. The West proved a perfect subject for de Forest's special approach to landscape painting, which was grounded in 19th century Hudson River School painting and its transcendentalist reverence for nature, but which set aside grandeur in favor of a kind of painterly honesty. De Forest wanted you to feel like you were there, caught in a quiet moment in the vast landscape. Aesthetically, he walked a fine line. He said that he wanted to imbue his landscapes with feeling, but he also said that he wanted honest transcription more than artful interpretation. He was known to be suspicious of modern tendencies in art, and yet his sketches honor certain modernist virtues, like the simplification of form and the celebration of brushwork for its own sake. De Forest was both a gifted draftsman and a terrific colorist, creating these paintings in just hours with little to no drawing and absolutely no second chances. In no place was his sensitivity to color more obvious, however, than in his nocturnes. These rare and coveted paintings epitomized the Romantic tradition in America. Like Walt Whitman, de Forest was a wanderer who recorded his journeys in a manner both frank and poetic. He was a devoted student of nature's most subtle teachings, carrying a paint box just large enough to hold his 9.5 by 14-inch paintings for whenever a new lesson might be learned. In recent years, de Forest's reputation has revived considerably. He has had numerous museum and gallery shows on both coasts, a new book, and several mentions in the New York Times. His plein air paintings now strike modern eyes as fresh, sophisticated, and masterful, just as Frank Goss saw them 15 years ago. Lockwood de Forest will be on view through March 28th. Come see it.